So, starting on the front row there in the J21, that is Walt Dalrymple Jr., one of my favorite last names to say, Walt Dalrymple Jr. On the outside of him, you have JT James Clayton in that 20. And the inside, the 55, that is Anthony Duvenoy. On the outside of him, Jim Cudd. And I got to tell you, in that number 1 truck, that was destroyed last night, and it's amazing to see that he is out here racing tonight. But that's Jim Cudd in the number 1. In the number 70, who's also been driving a front-wheel drive car, but good to see him back in his truck, the 70 of Charlie Boone. On the outside of him, in the 224, that is Jason Grissom. And then bringing up the rear, he was also involved in that incident last night. That is Brandon Cudd in the 81. Coming down, green flag, and we are green flag, Mason Burgess title racing. Boy, they're 3 wide in the backstretch there. Not sure that's going to work. See James Clayton back out a bit. Anthony Duvenoy in the inside trying to get by Walt Dalrymple. Boy, they're both kind of sliding. Jim Cudd a little bit sideways there going into 1 as well in that number 1. But right now, the 55, but Doobie leading the way. Walt Dalrymple. Jim Cudd looking to the inside of Walt Dalrymple Jr. for that 2nd spot. Anthony Duvenoy leading the way in the 55. Jim Cudd and Walt Dalrymple Jr. battling for 2nd. Jim Cudd gets the better coming out of turn 4. Everybody kind of getting in line now. About equidistant. The first 2 are starting to put a little distance, but Jim Cudd looking to the inside of that 55. Halfway, 4 laps in, 4 to go. Jim Cudd to the inside, kicking up a little dirt, side by side, tailgate to tailgate. And he gets by. Anthony Doobie says, hey, wait a minute. I see what you did back there. I'm going to do a little bump drafting, but only put Jim Cudd a little bit further ahead of him. Jim Cudd, your leader. Anthony Duvenoy in the 55, running 2nd. James Clayton now has a battle there with Walt Dalrymple Jr. for 3rd spot. Walt going high, wide, and handsome. Losing a couple spots there, but right now it is Jim Cudd leading the way, but Anthony Duvenoy not giving it up. He is looking to the inside. They're going to be coming down with a white flag. Going to the inside, and there is a bit of a power move in that 3 and 4. Anthony getting that lead back. Jim Cudd says, no, I want it back, but oh boy, you saw him going to 1 and sliding a bit. Jim Cudd's going to try that outside maybe. Oh, maybe a crossover move not going to work. It's going to be Anthony Duvenoy in the 55. Jim Cudd, JT James Clayton, Brandon Cudd, Walt Dalrymple Jr., Jason Grissom, and Charlie Boone. We do have a 2nd heat race for the Mason Burgess Title Agency trucks. Going to be bringing them out right now. Boy, very interesting combination you have here. I'm going to let you know you have a father and son team out here, and then you have 2 brothers that are 3rd-generation drivers. In that 95, that is Cameron DeLong. On the outside in the 47X, that is Joe Shamel. In the 47, on the inside, that is Dan Shamel, his brother. On the outside in the 067, multi-time champion here in at Auto City Speedway, it is Josh DeLong, the father of the 95. So you have 2 brothers out there, 3rd-generation drivers. Then you have a father and son team for this 4-truck dash. 4 trucks, 4 laps. So we'll see, is this 2 teams going at it? Because they're kind of mixed up. They're not behind the right folks, but here we go. Green flag for 4 laps. Cameron DeLong jumping out to the early lead there. Oh, the two brothers almost coming together. Josh DeLong kind of seeing what's going to go on here. Now they get lined up to where it's Shamel and Shamel in front of each other and DeLong and DeLong. Got Joe Shamel looking to the inside of the 95 of Cameron DeLong, but can't make it stick. Then 95 taking that momentum on the middle row right there, the middle groove. Got Josh DeLong up there now battling as well. Actually, it's a 4-truck battle for the lead. White flag coming out. Cameron DeLong has Joe Shamel on the inside. They're side by side. They do not touch. Oh, man. Josh DeLong going for a little bit of a ride out there doing some lawn maintenance and coming down with the checkered flag. It's going to be Joe Shamel getting the win. Coming out of turn 4, gets by the 95 of Cameron DeLong. And then you got Dan Shamel there in the 47. But Josh DeLong, boy, once you get to that high side on that small track, it is hard to regroup, especially if you start getting into the little bit of the loose dirt and grass, because your tires, that momentum, it just carries you over there. But Josh DeLong got into that high side back there, and but win goes to Joe Shamel in that 47X. Again, third-generation driver. Dad was the Blue Knight, or Ron Shamel. Used to drive late models. And ladies and gentlemen, just like you did with the modified drivers, as they come on by, if you could wave your hands, wave your hats, your blankets, whatever you may have, give these drivers a wave and let them know that you're wanting to see them go 25 laps feature racing here with the All-American trucks. Because these drivers out here, I'm telling you, they're not doing it to get rich. They're out here to have fun because they have a passion for racing. Again, bringing them around up front, Darrell Ripple Jr. and James Clayton. Bringing them around nice and easy. Adam Matthews getting wound up there, licking them over. And it is green flag feature racing for the Matt Mason Burgess title agency, American Trucks. James Clayton out as the early leader coming out of turn 2, looking to try to do 3 wide for a second, but deeper in the pack, they're 3 wide as well. And look out, Joe Shamel says, hey, what about that white tire? I just want to test it out. Goes a little airborne. JT, James Clayton, in the 20, leading the way. Anthony Doobie and Walt Dahl Ripple Jr. side-by-side battle for second, and then the side-by-side battle for fourth between Brandon Cudd and Jim Cudd. Yeah, they are related, by the way. Brandon Cudd to the inside, getting that third spot away from Walt Dahl Ripple Jr. Front 3, single file battle right now for that fourth spot between Cam DeLong and Walt Dahl Ripple. Walt Dahl Ripple's stuck on the outside there. He's really can't get down to get to the inside to make it stick. Keeps losing positions on that outside line, but up front again, the 20 truck of JT, James Clayton, your leader. Anthony Duvenoy, the 55, second. Brandon Cudd in the 81, third. But on the inside, you got Cameron DeLong looking to try and take that spot away. Two brothers a little bit deeper in the field, battling side by side, the 47, 47X. JT, James Clayton, leading the way. Anthony Duvenoy second. Again, Brandon Cudd right there, trying to look inside, and that can't get quite close enough to make a move on that 55. But Cameron DeLong in the 95 looking at the outside of the 81, seeing if he can make it stick out there, have that momentum work for him. And he gets high over there, but keeps it on the track. And the 067 truck has come from the back, and he has worked his way up as well. He's on a mission. Not bad for a retired driver. And I think that was his third time saying he was going to retire. JT, James Clayton, in the 20, leading the way. 55, 95, and 067. Look at that. The son and father in third and fourth. Josh DeLong, the inside of his son, now trying to get to the inside of Anthony Dubé to get that second spot away. But the 067 truck on the move right now, gets to the inside of the 55. Oh! And Anthony Dubé gets a little bouncy to go around. Bringing out the caution flag. Boy. And you see the 20 truck being stopped up there in turn 4. They are checking to see if he is leaking anything. But not sure. They got the officials down there checking it out. So again, leader, the 20 of JT, James Clayton in the inside. On the outside of him, the 55 of Anthony Duvenoy. Inside in the second row is Cameron DeLong. On the outside of him, and then 81, that's Brandon Cudd. 47X, Joe Shamel. Number 1, Jim Cudd. The J21, Walt Dahl-Ripple Jr. Outside of him is Jason Grissom in the 224. 70 is Charlie Boone, and then at the back there you see Josh DeLong in the 067. 10 laps in, 15 to go, ladies and gentlemen. So, Clayton and Duvey up front there, bringing them around nice and easy. 10 laps in, 15 to go, ladies and gentlemen. Getting the green flag, and we're back at it. Battle right now. Whoa, they go 3 wide into turn 3. They're still 3 wide. James Clayton still your leader, but boy, you got Cameron DeLong right there on his tailgate. Going to the inside. This is a battle for the lead. The 95, the 20. 95 backs out and says, I don't want the door slammed on me. I want to carry that momentum. But at his side-by-side for the lead. Boy, give that lap to Cameron DeLong in the 95. James Clayton now in that second spot, but you got the battle back there for third, fourth, fifth. And you do see the 20 truck is getting black flag, ladies and gentlemen. He is leaking fluid out. They checked it and thought to give him a few laps, see if it was going to resolve itself, and it did not. So JT, James Clayton, to the pits. But look at what we got here as all the action's been happening in the back. You got the 95 of Cameron DeLong leading, and who is that running second? His dad. Came from the back of the pack, the 067 of Josh DeLong. Going to be coming down to our 15 laps completed. Going to be 10 to go. Can the father catch the son? Boy, Anthony Duvenoy doing a good save there going into turn one, battling with the 47 of Dan Shamel. Well, Anthony Duvey a little bit power sliding there in turns 3 and 4. But again, your leader up front, pretty good distance from the 95 to the 067 to the 47X. They're all pretty equidistant. Throw in the 47. So again, you got this son, father, brother, and brother in the top 4. Cameron DeLong was a front wheel drive driver a couple years ago and has moved up into the trucks and following in his dad's tire tracks per se, getting it done right now. With a 47X of Joe Shamel, looks like he might be catching the 067 a little bit by little bit, but it's coming down to 5 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line. And Joe Shamel right there in the tailgate going to the inside of Josh DeLong. It's a battle for a second. But as that battle goes on, Cameron DeLong out front, leading the way by almost a half a straightaway. They're going to be coming down to 2 to go. Two to go. Cameron DeLong, your leader. Josh DeLong, a little bit sideways, gives that opening on the inside for Joe Shamel. Joe Shamel takes it. They are side by side. That is for second. Coming down with a white flag. Joe Shamel getting by. Now it's Josh DeLong in that outside. Boy, losing that second spot, but going to be coming down with the checkered flag. It is going to be his son, Cameron DeLong, in the 95. Getting the win. Look out. So, boy, got to say, young man was front, stayed out front, and got it done. He's climbing out, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause. He can hear you now. Getting some of the photos. let you get a drink for talk to you here, but man, got out front, stayed out front. Your dad was back there battling with a couple other drivers. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't know when I've interviewed you before, and this is new for me being at this track, but first victory win for a feature?
Yeah, first victory in a truck. I got a couple in the front wheel drives, but other than that, yeah, this is the first one in the trucks.
Ladies and gentlemen, first victory in a truck on a feature. Give them a round of applause, but I give a shout out to your sponsors as well.
My main one, Muffler Man on Pearson Road. My dad, he's always there when I need him. Just the rest of my family always out here. My buddy Zach, my buddy Mark for hauling the truck out. Other than that, it's pretty much everyone.
Got it. You don't even, you've done a lot of racing now. I mean, you're pretty calm right now, but that's awesome. Arms are hurting. But again, ladies and gentlemen, give it up to the win.